compromised and leaked. But because of Web3 decentralized technologies, if you use it together with AI, the storage of data and automation of data will be will be more secure in the sense that if one node is hacked, the other nodes will not be affected. So it's just normal. Nobody will say that, hey, I have an AI, because you already have an AI anywhere, everywhere, every software you use.
Wait, ever wondered will AI be able to handle finances better than humans? I mean, that's the question everybody's skeptical about. But let's just hear an AI expert to answer this question for us. I mean, today I'm excited to welcome a distinguished guest on our podcast, Wan Wei, the founder of the AI Visionary Society. She is a renowned expert in the field of artificial intelligence, and she has built the AI Visionary Society over fostering a community of AI professionals and enthusiasts. And let's just dive in this conversation about artificial intelligence, the role of the AI Visionary Society, and her inspiring journey in this field. She has built a career over artificial intelligence, and I mean, hearing an AI expert out and letting them answer all the questions that probably we are curious to know what AI is and its possibilities are will really make this conversation really exciting. So let's just deep dive in, let's just not waste time and just get in. So hi Vanvi, how are you?
Thanks, Neha, for having me. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
So let's just get the introduction from your side too. Just introduce yourself to the audience your way.
Sure. Oh, thank you for the opportunity. So, this is One Way, and basically, you can remember me by like One Way Ticket or One Way Street, One Way. Yeah. So, I'm the founder of AI Visionary Society. It's a relatively new project. Like, it's around like 2.5 months old, but I do own the company that owns AI Visionary Society. So, basically, we help entrepreneurs, coaches, and creators monetize their expertise using AI, and we also help them get media publicity using AI. Happy to be here today.
Great. So let's just dive into the vision at AI Visionary Society. What do you look forward to?
That's a really good question. So the vision is to actually help people make AI their ally. The reason is because there has been a lot of fear in the media, like, hey, AI will replace you, AI will replace your jobs. Everyone will have no jobs anymore. We are going to like doom and gloom and disaster with AI. Yeah, so actually, we want to create the society to help people think of AI as a friend, think of AI as a tool to use to get your goals instead of being so scared about AI. So it's a matter of education and implementation.
Great, that's a great vision. I mean, building up something on the notion of making maybe AI look less scary is something that people have been looking up for, and she built the same thing in build space too. So that's a great progress going on. Okay, so apart from this, how did you get into AI at first?
Since my entire career has been in emerging technology, by emerging technology, I mean Web3, blockchain, metaverse, AI. So, personally, I have an interest in Japanese culture. So in 2009, when I was still very young, I stayed in Japan for a year, and I got involved in the otaku culture, which is like my guy geek friend. They play things like Hatsune Miku, which is like a hologram green hair lady. So that eventually evolved into a human-like AI. That means an AI that looks like a human being. So that was when I was like 19, 20. So when I graduated and started working, in 2018, I started like speaking publicly about the interfusion between blockchain and AI. So my focus area really is on AI that looks like human being and how we as human beings can interact with a AI that talks like a human being react like a human being and sometimes can even be a better friend than a human being. Yeah, so this is how I got involved in the AI field through human-like AI and also parasocial relationship. Parasocial relationship is like, if you think about it, AI is a software, but if the AI looks like a human being, would it be possible for a lot of people to make friends with the one software that looks like a human being, but it's a software? So I think that's very interesting, and that continues to drive my passion towards AI today.
It's a great perspective to look at the, maybe positives of AI, but most of us end up looking at the downsides of AI as AI taking away jobs and everything. So, how do you look at the negative side of AI as?
I think the thing is that think of it like how should I put it? Think of it like a tsunami. Okay, so for example, if let's say we all stay in island, we stay on the island, and one day the weather forecast person tell you that a tsunami is coming, right? So they already tell you that it's inevitable that the tsunami is coming. You can either move to a higher place, like you can climb the mountain when there's still time to escape from the tsunami, or you can stay there and be scared. So I like to think of this as an example to use when people say that, hey, we are very negative about AI. But it's not like they feel negative and scared about it, then AI will not happen. AI is actually a very it has been happening since 1950, 1960. There have been a lot of development. It's just that recent years, like last year and maybe in 2021, there has been a rise of generative AI, right? That made a lot of people aware that, oh, because of ChatGPT, suddenly people start to panic. So the point here is that since AI is inevitable, especially through generative AI, why would anyone, I mean, why be scared of it? I mean, there's time to learn. We are still very early. There's time to use it to your advantage and gain a competitive advantage. So what I would say to the people who are scared is that there's no point fighting it because you can still be scared. Okay, you can be scared and educate yourself, or you can be scared and do nothing. And the person who is scared and in spite of the fear, educate themselves will gain an advantage. So there's no point doing nothing since it's inevitable.
Great. So, a question that I'm really curious to know, because in today's time we see it less. So, what is your perception of women in tech in general?
Yeah, are you a woman in tech? Will you consider yourself as a woman in tech? Yes, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Have a rather, I would also love to hear your perspective on it. My perspective, oh, wait, how politically incorrect can I be on your channel?
I mean, just be open to share your perspective whatever way you want to.
Okay, sure, thank you. My perspective is not politically correct. Okay, to summarize the current perspective, there are two camps, right? Like two extreme. The first extreme is like, I don't care what gender you are, as long as you can deliver results, you can be whatever you are, you can be like yeah, basically you can call yourself anything you like as long as you deliver results. So that's one camp. On the other camp, there are very passionate ladies in tech that feel that people in tech are already like majority guys. So whenever you step into a room, usually is the ratio is 8 to 2. So 8 guys to 2 ladies, right? All over the world. That is the average ratio. So on this hand, there are people who say that, oh, we should insist on 50-50 in the boardroom. Uh, listed company should have like equal representation. So these are the two camps. My perspective is that a balance is needed, and I'm more towards this side, which says that the focus should be less on gender and more on delivering results. Uh, for example, let's say we go into AI marketing conference or Web3 marketing conference. It would be ideal to have panels that let's say on a non-gender topic, let's say things like the state of digital marketing using generative AI today, for example, one topic like that, then it would be good to have like at least one lady, assuming that the panel has like 5 people. This is my idea of gender equality. So my idea of women in tech is not having a panel of women in tech and then or having a conference that is women in tech and then women saying their opinion why there should be more representation. That is not my idea of women in tech. But being, of course, saying this as a politically incorrect perspective, there are conferences like that, which I don't really resonate with. I rather have trending topics or important topic in the industry, and then on the panel, make sure that there are like equal representation or at least representation of both guys and ladies. Yeah, so that's my opinion. How about your opinion? I'm curious.
Yeah. Great. Mine is pretty similar too. I mean, it's not about the gender, it's about the passion that you have in you. But you will agree with me on this that we still are far away from the vision of getting an equal ratio, maybe in this field.
Yes, definitely yes. And having said that, I do think that in your generation, because you feel very young to me, may I ask how old are you?
Yeah, I'm
So
18
in
years
your
old.
generation, there will be change because currently emerging tech, the cycle of change is getting shorter and shorter. So when I was your age, most people do not have like smartphone. I'm still using the Nokia phone when I was your age. So I do think that it is a long process. Having said that, at least for women in AI or say women coders, it is a very optimistic situation because it's becoming more and more equal as schools start to, emphasize that more and more people, it's mainstream to know code. When I was your age, schools did not emphasize that. Nobody knows code as a mainstream kind of, as a basic kind of education. It's more towards like, if you are in computer science, then you need to study code. If you are in website development or design, then maybe you know a little bit of like front end code. But yeah, now it's just normal to know code as a basic. So I do think the gender gap will be like less and less in your generation.
That's actually something I truly agree on too. I mean, there's this equality wave that's coming up. People are, getting an equal chance to follow their passion no matter their gender. And we are seeing that change come up in this field too. And hopefully, better results only in future. I mean, everybody's getting the chance and everything. Okay, so let's just move this conversation towards artificial intelligence now. So, what do you think are the potential benefits and downsides of increased automation these days?
Downsides, okay, I think before we talk about usage and implementation of AI and automation, it is important to be aware of what makes a human being a human being. And to do that, it is important to look inside ourselves. So, for example, um, let's not talk about AI first. Let's talk about human beings. If you think about it, a lot of human beings are not self-aware. And a lot of human beings are not emotionally aware. So, if you ask, let's say your friends, do they know their values? Do they know their purpose in life? Do they know their life goals? A lot of people might say that they don't know. Okay, so let's bear that in mind first. So back to your question of what are the downsides of using automation or artificial intelligence. The premise is that if we do not know ourselves as human beings or what makes us human, then it becomes very difficult to answer this question because then AI might be able to replace what is human. Give you an example. So recently start of the year, I invested in a startup uh, related to AI girlfriends and boyfriends. So it is a Web3 and AI project. And basically the end user will go to the website and talk to a software. Yeah, so okay, I'm actually not for people talking to software. I mean, I talk to ChatGPT sometimes more than human beings, so I'm not against that. But at the same time, it is very interesting because this is a romantic context. So people when I get to see some of the conversations, right? Not on this startup that I invested in, but somewhere else. It is a romantic kind of conversation. So if you think about it, every single person who goes to the website knows that the person likely is not real. Correct? Because on the website they say clearly that this is an AI girlfriend or AI boyfriend. So they are aware that they are talking to a software. Having said that, even though they know that they're talking to a software, they are still talking in a romantic manner, like, hey, I miss you, or things like, how is your day today? Things like that. So it's a romantic context. Okay. So this is one example of maybe the downsides of artificial intelligence, but we should not blame the artificial intelligence. We should instead, as human beings, take a look at our life. Is this the life we want? And is this the type of connection we want? Because I mean, if the answer is yes, I want to have a connection with a AI, then by all means, if that makes them happy, if their life has no real human beings to talk to, which is perfectly I would say a valid thing, because you know the one of the biggest news last year was that America, they have a health announcement that loneliness is now a global epidemic. So it has health issues. People feel lonely until there are physical health implications to loneliness, right? So if the AI girlfriend or boyfriend can help to solve this void in human being, I think it's perfectly fine. If they are happy, then it's okay, because in their life, maybe there are no human beings to connect with. Say that if it isn't that time for reflection for our life, like in this kind of connectivity, fast moving life, is that the life we want? So I think this is the question we ask. But it's not the fault of AI. It is more of the kind of introspection needed by the human being. So I do not think it's the AI's fault. I think the human being should reflect on himself or herself. Yeah.
You're right. I mean, I have also seen people connect with AI not just in a way that they're asking for informative stuff, but in a way that there's this personal connection with, the tools that are available. Maybe, you just ask for some personal questions that might be you are not able to ask anybody else. So that's how people are able to connect personally with it too. So I mean, what's your perspective on this? The personal connection that people are making up with artificial intelligence.
I think it really goes back to how well you know yourself and what is your ultimate goal of interacting with AI or even human beings. So for example, give you another practical example. So in AI visionary society, our aim is to help people monetize their expertise. Okay, give you an example, Neha. So basically, let's say you want to monetize this particular podcast one day, like which is perfectly fine. There are generative AI tools that can help you summarize instantly this podcast and convert it into let's say blog post, and eventually maybe with a compilation of the blog post, with one click you can create an ebook which acts as a lead magnet, which you can market to get your email list, you can get leads on board and things like that. So if your goal is to one day monetize this entire workflow, AI can help you do it really, really fast. So good or bad really depends on us knowing ourselves and what is our goal, so that we can look at the workflow and decide which part should be human and which part should be AI. For example, right now we are using Zoom as a software. I could immediately appear as what you call it, as an avatar. Let me try to do it. Okay, see if I can appear as an avatar right now. Where is the I don't really know how to appear as avatar, but you get what I mean, right? Like we can change ourselves to avatar so that you are interviewing an avatar. It's also possible. So it's this kind of thing that we need to consider, right? Like for instance, would you want to interview an avatar, or conversely, would I like to be interviewed by an avatar? Or would I like to be interviewed by AI in future? So all these considerations in your workflow. So it really depends on your objective, which then depend on how well you know yourself as a human being. So to answer your question, good or bad really depends on how well you know yourself and how you want to use AI in your workflow.
Great. So, how do you think AI will be impacting the job market in the next 5 to 10 years?
That's a very good question. I see that currently a lot of people are using AI agents in their marketing. Think of AI agents like close to an AI employee, correct? So in the next 5 years to 10 years, I think there will be more and more people, one person company that can make a lot of money. Like maybe 7 figure, 8 figure a year just by one person, but they use a lot of like AI agents, AI employee. So I think after 10 years, right, we will progress to an extent that maybe you can even have an AI boss. So basically the human being will be somewhere in on an island or something, drinking coffee or something. And the organization will still be working entirely based on AI.
Then, how do you think uh, the future holds for AI in the next 5 to 10 years, apart from just talking about the job market itself?
10 years. I think in personal life, back to the AI girlfriend and boyfriend example, because I know that very well because I invested in that company. Okay, AI is one, it's a software, right? The hardware of robotics is also developing really, really fast. So soon, will it not be possible to get married to a AI robot that look like a human being? As in, now the AI boyfriend and girlfriend thing is a software, right? You can't touch the robot, right? Because there's no robot. But as robotics becomes better and better, would it not be possible to actually buy an AI boyfriend or girlfriend that you can touch? So I think that is one example of uh social implication that is a little bit more revolutionary, because people might start to marry a human-like robot that has a very robust kind of software. And before we meet at this point, 10 years before, we might think that this is a crazy idea because human beings are very special, blah, blah, blah. But then, if you think about it, right, sometimes having a AI boyfriend or girlfriend or AI husband or wife that is real, that you can touch, might be more reliable than human beings. Because you think about it, divorce rates are very high, right? And things like what do you call it, extramarital affairs are also very high. So why not just date an AI? So this is one of the trends. Another thing that apart from jobs, we will see AI involvement, that AI will become so omnipresent that it will not even be a thing like internet. Okay, so when I was your age, I sound very old, but I'm not very old. But basically, when I was your age, internet is a very big thing. Digital business is like nobody around me has a digital business. But your age group, people want to become YouTubers as ambition. Like, hey, my life goal is to be a YouTuber or a content creator. In my age, if you dare to tell your parents that, they will think that you are absolutely crazy, right? So these are the differences. So in 5 to 10 years, I don't think people will use the word AI anymore. It will become so normal and, integrated into society that it's just normal. Nobody will say that, hey, I have an AI, because you already have an AI anywhere, everywhere, every software you use.
Great. So, the uh, emerging trends that you talked about, technologies in AI and everything, are these the domains particularly that you are excited about?
One thing that I'm very excited about is using Web3 and AI technologies together, because Web3 will ensure that kind of data security and privacy. Like for instance, if I have very sensitive information that is automated and things like that in a centralized system, what happens is that um once the centralized system is hacked by your hackers, that's it. Your all your data is like compromised and leaked. But because of Web3 decentralized technologies, if you use it together with AI, the storage of data and automation of data will be will be more secure in the sense that if one node is hacked, the other nodes will not be affected. So I think something I'm very excited about and I am watching will be that kind of decentralization. Yes. Because it affects your security, it affects your privacy, and that is very important. The other one that I'm really interested in is being anonymous. Because personally, I don't believe that we should be tracked by anybody, including the government. Like I do whatever I want to do. Like I spend whatever money I want to spend. Currently, governments and banks, they are tracking your finances, like where you spend how much amount at which place. So once they can track your finances, they can sort of know your location, you see. Uh, I don't really like that ideology, but that's personal opinion. So I believe that as Web3 technology develops, we can have more and more private kind of transactions going on.
Great point. The bank finances and AI handling your finances. I mean, do you think people will be able to trust AI in handling finances?
A very good question. So it goes back to in my head, it's more like if the human were to do it himself or herself versus if the AI were to do it for him or her, which will give a better result. I would say that the AI will give a better result because this is verifiable and backed by research. Because I do crypto trading and I do like arbitrage and I short the market and I long the market and leverage the market and all that, right? Um, when human beings have emotions, AI do not have emotion. So if let's say I short the market with a capital and a margin of let's say what $30,000 US dollar. Let's say my one trade is 30,000, right? And I put like 10x margin, that means the total amount involved is $300,000. Would I be able to cut loss? So if I long the market and the market starts dropping and going down, right? And maybe the software tell me that okay, I'll be losing if I cut my loss, I will have an instant loss of $10,000. But my entire size is 300,000. Would I be able to cut loss? I think the answer is that I might not be able to do it because I'm a human being. But maybe the AI knowing the trend, they might be able to cut loss immediately so that instead of losing $300,000, I lose at most $10,000. So back to your question, I do think AI can make a better decisions in money matters and based on the fact that it is not emotional.
Great. So, for the people who are just starting up, what advice would you give them? Maybe just to start up in this field, just to, I mean, understand and decode this field a bit for themselves. You might be the best person to ask this question from. So, just break this down a little bit, maybe in terms of just getting aware about AI.
About AI, okay, AI as a field is a very large field. Um, so I think my area of expertise regarding AI will be more of how we can use generative AI in terms of marketing, in terms of PR, in terms of business, right? So let me only give feedback or advice on that area. So firstly, the market is the field is moving very fast. So for example, in 2021, I actually bought a lot of credits from this virtual human software company called Eli, ELAI. I'm a little bit annoyed by it, like super annoyed. I have 114 minutes after 2 years. So today I checked my account because they sent me an email saying that all my credits will expire on this Thursday. And I have 114 minutes, which I paid 350 US dollar for. So I was like, oh, it's okay, it's going to expire on Thursday. What do I do with it? So I went to check what I can do with the virtual human AI. I realized I can't really do anything. I really tried to use the minutes and the credits, right? But because the technology development from 2021 to today is so slow that I can't even use the software, even though I paid for it like 2 years. So what I am saying here is really that the one advice I will give to people is that don't feel scared to start, because you can start anytime and you will still be ahead. What is important is to be consistent. So just like my example that I gave of the Eli.io of the virtual human AI, right? They were one of the top virtual human AI software in 2021, which is why I paid $150 for the credit, right? But so what if they are the top? They do not improve. So my point is that it doesn't matter where you start in generating AI as an industry. What matters is after you start, you are consistent in maintaining your position and continue to give good results to people. That's more important. So don't be afraid to start. What is more important is to have a good positioning and be consistent in your efforts to deliver value to your client. I hope nobody ends up like my situation, where as a user, I pay and I cannot even find a use case. I cannot even find a use case for this AI thing.
Evident that this can only come from an AI expert. On that note, you justify this title.
You can call me whatever you want to. Thank you so much. But personally, I will not call myself one. Even though I've done multiple interviews with government agency, media, radio, they say that I'm an AI marketing expert. Yeah, but I will not call myself one because I think there's a lot of things to learn in this space.
Okay, so last but not the least, how far do you think are we from AGI?
I think we're meeting it soon in 10 years. And I do
10
think we'll surpass it. And I do think that we will have AI that is fully self-aware. And I'm looking forward to it actually. I think we'll be friends.
Okay, so thank you so much for coming. It was a great conversation diving into this world of artificial intelligence. Always an exciting conversation about this topic. So thank you so much for giving all the advices, all the insights, all the perspective that you gave. It was amazing, and all the best for the AI Visionary Society. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So hope you liked the conversation. I mean, it was all deep dive into the world of artificial intelligence. To all those folks who find this world really, really exciting, just like me, it was probably a bang-on conversation for you all. We deep dive into the world of artificial intelligence, the possibilities, and the curious questions that might come up to folks in this field. So hope this conversation was helpful and exciting with the folks who listen to it. Thank you so much for listening, and to keep learning in the future, keep tuning in to Wdym.